Good morning. It is 11:20 a.m. on Saturday, March 25th, 2017. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. Got some nice restorative sleeping in done this morning. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Uh, I also just randomly at the drugstore yesterday bought this. It's a little plushy version of one of the rabbit marshmallow peeps. And I got the orange one because that's the color that I liked. And it's got a little beanbag in it so it'll sit up like this when you sit it down. It's one of those things where you just have to appreciate the simple joys when you find them. It's like I don't have any especially intellectual reason for why I want this or that it means something sentimental to me in a very specific way. It's more just that I saw it and I said, oh, cute, I want that. And so here it is. Oddly enough, it didn't come with Peeps. It came with jelly beans. Because obviously, like, it's with the Easter stuff, right? Anyway, I've just got that sitting on my desk now and thinking, yeah, that's a cute little bunny. Yep, I like it. Uh, so, weekend. I've got more day job presentation stuff that needs to be done before Monday. So that's going to have to be a chunk of both today and tomorrow. But I'm also, I think, starting to round the corner when it comes to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'm not done with the game, but the structure seems to be that there are four main dungeons, like four big things that you have to do before you would approach the end. And in my case, I have now done 3 of those 4. Now, there's still a lot left to do, and if I wanted to just screw around in the overworld doing all sorts of random things, there is tons that I could do. So I'm not like in a rush to finish or anything like that, but I'm still just continuing to really love the game. I think it is it's great. And I've heard people say like, "Oh, I think it might be like my favorite Legend of Zelda game." And I have to say I'm might be mine too. You know, there have been I think back on like which Legend of if I were to say what is my favorite Legend of Zelda game, what might I pick? Well, Link to the Past is pretty great, the Super Nintendo one. Even the original Legend of Zelda, I certainly have a very fond spot in my heart for from playing it when I was a kid, but I don't know that I feel any particular desire to replay it. And that's not the only measure. I mean, obviously, it was a precedent setting game at the time. And then another one that, see, replaying a game can't be the standard anymore for me because although there are periodically games that I feel like replaying, a game has to meet a very high threshold for me to want to replay it right now, just because there's so many new games that are great coming out to go back and replay something. But other ones that I think of as being like my favorite ones, Link Between Worlds on the 3DS was pretty great. One of the more recent ones, Wind Waker, I liked a lot. Even Skyward Sword had some issues, but there were a lot of things that I really liked about it too. But boy, Breath of the Wild is just really something else. It really feels like a step forward for the franchise in an interesting way. And even the things that like weapon durability that people talk about. The cooking is a weird addition, but I don't know. I kind of ended up liking the cooking. The weapon durability thing, I have more mixed feelings about. But on the one hand, I do like the way that it kind of encourages you to cycle through the different weapons and the whole thing of I've got a super badass sword, but I want to save it for super badass enemies so that it doesn't wear out and break fighting trivial things, encourages you to pick up random weapons that you find in the world and then use them for a while. And that's a neat mechanic even if like there's an instinct to say I want to just get a good sword and then just use only that, but the weapon durability mechanic encourages you to use lots of different kinds of weapons, and that's kind of neat. I like that. I will say that I did have to do a stealth section leading up to this third of four big dungeons, and that wasn't great. I didn't like that aspect of it because most of the game is it's very physics engine designed, meaning it really just defines rules for how things move around in the world and then just trusts you to figure a way to get where you need to go. But when you're talking about a stealth section, it makes some of the rules of like when can they see you and when can they not. And oh, you can distract them with bananas on the ground, but like what is their field of vision while distracted? How long will they be distracted for? That stuff is not made super obvious, and I found that section kind of frustrating. I did get through it, but not where the game shines. Thankfully, other than this one bit that I've had to do, and I think there might be another section, one more, most of the game does not require that, so that's nice. And there's just lots of fun. Like I feel like I care about the secondary characters more than I ever have in a Zelda game before. Anyway, I guess I talked about Zelda today. So I will talk to you tomorrow for 5 more minutes. And it's Sunday, of course, so it will be time for Avatar The Last Airbender rewatch, continuing that series. So I will talk to you tomorrow about Avatar and, in general, talk to you tomorrow for 5 more minutes.